Welcome to the Wild Feminine Daily Astro Intuitive. I'm Jude Hotep, the goddess astrologer and soul coach. We're going to get into the chart for today. I hope you are doing amazing. If you don't know, the Light Goddess podcast is over 330 episodes and is on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all the places. The Light Goddess is about you, goddess. It's about you and all the women around the world who are anchoring divine feminine light into this world, who are on divine feminine soul mission, who are helping humanity move from fear consciousness into love consciousness. So that is what a light goddess is. Most people think that I'm referring to myself. I am not. So let's get into this chart. The Pisces energy, Neptune in its home sign of Pisces, and Neptune, the god of the seas, it's the outpost, it's the outermost reaches, it's the connection to the ethereal, the spirit, and conjunct Jupiter in Pisces, also the ancient ruler of Pisces. So it's Jupiter expands everything it touches. So it's expanding our spiritual connection and expanding our connection to spirit and soul and heart and our soul mission and our purpose. And it's expanding what life is about, which is expanding this idea of soul, of this soul reality, that the matrix, people who are still unawakened are caught in the karmic cycles and loops and are not awake. And one of the things I'm seeing with a lot of people who are awake is that we don't realize like what a blessing it is. And definitely maybe sometimes on the path, you almost wish you could go back to sleep. There's some movie where the guy's like, just put me back in, put me back to sleep. It might be The Matrix, actually. Can't remember what show this was, but it was some character who was not doing right by everybody else. And he's just like, I just want to go back in. I think it was The Matrix, one of them. But anyways, but it's like this idea that our soul mission, our connection to spirit, our connection to source, that are we connected and really walking our path? And so much of this like hard work spell from the overculture is not the way to be connected to your creative life. And creative life is confusing for a lot of people because in the overculture world, it's thought of as this other thing, that it's a very elitist way that it's really dealt with, when most artists in Renaissance times and other eras were in poverty, and later their work amassed fortunes, not for them, unfortunately. And so there's these ideas of the starving artist, or that you don't get to create unless it's this very elitist view, unless all the money and all the things, like everybody puts money on as this higher pedestal, puts money on a pedestal. I mean, we have to like really face that we put money on a pedestal in this culture, and really like be real about it, that we put it on a pedestal. And the thing is, it's because it's conflated with our survival. And our survival is really separate, because survival is about resources. When you're hungry, you need food. When you're tired, you need a place to sleep that's safe to sleep, that you feel secure in. And when you're naked, you need clothing. And when your clothes are tattered, you need new clothes. And we need health and connection to people. And so it's like really bringing back our values that are about like really making distinctions between what's important. This Taurus North Node is about building and growing. It's about abundance, but realizing that like you already have abundance. But it's tricky because it really requires a lot of healing of our ego, and our ego is, right now we have the sun in Aries, we have Mercury in Aries, and Chiron in Aries, and Chiron is the wound. So it's the wounded ego, the wounded identity of a whole people, a whole people. Humanity as a whole has a wounded identity. They're confused about who they are. They think they are about the game Risk, playing war games. They think that they're about who's in more control, who's in more power, who's on the magazine, who's more known, who's more famous. It's kind of high school. I mean, really, it's like our whole humanity is under this high school identity, and really humanity is on this karmic loop, but it keeps going around and around and around. And it's why I don't want kids. Like, I don't want to create more karma, and when you have kids, you create more karma. And I just like want off. I want off this fucking planet. I want off of this karmic fucking turnstile. I want out of here. And so it's like, for me, like, I have a couple of motives for wanting to like be on destiny and make whatever fucking happen that I'm supposedly supposed to make happen. And to do that shit and to move on to somewhere. I don't know, like, I don't know, some of the answers that you can get in the world, I don't really like. I think it's bullshit. They don't seem to make sense to me. And maybe love and creation isn't logical. It's not logical, but it also seems to involve a lot of suffering, which seems to be in the antithesis to love and creation. So I don't know about y'all, but like, it's almost like I just want out of here. What do I got to do? What do I got to do to get out of here? I'm definitely going through a moment in time within myself where that's up for me. But humanity has this identity that is wounded, that is this false identity that's really believes that this earthly existence is actually real when it is a simulation. There are many, many planets that you go to have learnings, to have experiences, so that creation can experience itself. And we are just a spark of light. We are love. This is a love universe. And so it's like, we have to stop creating shit and stop creating misery and stop creating suffering. And how do you do that? I think we're collectively figuring out our piece of the whole puzzle. Everybody's got a different piece of the puzzle that is theirs, that they bring healing, they bring medicine. And so as women, you bring your own medicine to this world, and fuck knows we need it. So what is that medicine? And how are you going through? Jupiter's opening a gateway in your soul mission, on your spiritual path, on your soul path. All this Pisces energy, with Venus having moved into Pisces just the other day. So maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, I can't remember. But all this Pisces energy, and like Venus is exalted in Pisces, so she loves it here. It's the love of the love story. It's the love of love. And it's just so much compassion and art and creating this creative force to just create for Venus reasons, for happiness and joy and love. And in goddess times and goddess cultures, when the goddess was worshipped, when Source was thought of as a woman, which if Source had a gender, it would be feminine, because feminine creates. And the sun doesn't create, the masculine doesn't create. The masculine provides the light, and the feminine is the womb that holds the seed and creates that life and grows it and nurtures it and loves it. And the masculine is the light that comes in. So the sun. So when we look at it like that, and we realize that during goddess times, we just had creation. Fear was nearly eradicated. And so if you could think about that in a way, and think about like, wow, really? Fear was really nearly eradicated. I'm sure it's not interesting just to stare at this chart, but the moon's in Gemini, so a lot of thinking, and that can really pull us into our mind and out of our Venus heart and Pisces, and really in our heart space, and getting back to that. And so the prescription for today is to pull back into your heart space and do whatever self-nurturing that you need while we have the planets direct until the 29th, and then the 30th is an eclipse and begins eclipse season. And this Aries energy is about initiation. It's about identifying our vision, initiating our vision, and like busting through walls and barriers and going up and around and underneath and through. It's also where it's also that we are meant to do it in the spiritual way, in the soul way. We are meant to do it in this new way that is born of soul, that knows that fear is an illusion, that this whole simulation of earth is all an illusion, and we all need to come together to figure out how to stop creating more karma and how to evolve. And those of us who are evolving and awakening and really like facing that head on and really seeking it are helping those who can awaken. And sometimes we just plant seeds. Sometimes we scream at people and then they almost go more asleep. And so it's really important to like bring the honey, not the hammer. And it's really important to plant seeds where you can't go deeper with people, to bring love and positivity and the light, bring that inspiration where you can with your clients, because that's what's going to uplift people to be inspired to maybe try the idea. What I hear from a lot of my clients and women that I work with as they're moving into awakening, moving further down the spiritual path, is just such fear of what other people think. And Mars is in Aquarius, so it's like, I'll take action, but I'm scared of what other people think. I'll take action, but only on conformity is what's everybody else doing. I'll take action, but what's the group doing? What's my family think? What are my friends doing? I got to do what they'll do. I got to partner with somebody. So instead, come to the positive, the higher Aquarius, the high Aquarius, and go into innovation, go into originality, individuality, into the Rara Avis, which is the Rara Avis. She is the goddess who is unto herself. She's like no other. And she doesn't need anyone, but she gathers the people around her that want to partner and just magnetizes and attracts the amazing energy because of who she is being. And Mars is past Saturn and has a hard closing aspect because of the square to the North Node, and that square to the North Node is asking us to take action but stay on the tracks of our soul mission that we've already built for our soul mission, our destiny, Taurus North Node. And to stop letting ourselves be like scattered all over the place. Like, we know what our direction is, and so bringing in like something completely new is really not necessarily, unless you've been building it or thinking about it for a long time, it's not really what the astrology is saying. And with Uranus and Taurus, it's helping us to let go of our attachments to security, and letting, Taurus is security. Taurus is how we feel comfortable and nurtured and safe. And so Uranus is breaking up our attachments to everything that we thought we needed to feel safe. And so it can be lightning, it can be thunderstorms and volcanoes and suddenness. It can be unpredictability in where we feel secure. And so it's really realizing the power that we have with our mind to be in a higher state of joy and creation and face our fears, and really like do great mindset work with your fears that are very existential fears or very intangible fears, and really face that. The Scorpio South Node will try to pull you into psychologizing things, to like just overly analyzing it in the mind and the psychologically like deep way, trying to figure out people and why and what they're doing, and being really black and white about how you think about things, like all or nothing, like it has to be this way. and like cutting people off, cutting situations off and things off out of fear, out of suspicion, out of distrust. And so we're coming out of that as a people. And so everywhere you're finding that within yourself, you have to move out of that and move towards the Taurus North Node, which is abundance and fecundity, and just knowing that everything is okay and moving forward on the things that really keep you connected, keep you sacred, that you are motivated by love, like really looking at your motivations and seeing if they're from the heart, seeing if they're motivated by love. In Light Goddess, we ask 3 questions. Is it motivated by love? Does it keep me sacred? And is it playful? So is that shit fun? I'm not doing it otherwise. We have Blue, she who loved once. So really talking about all the sorrows that we need to move through and heal and let go of. We're not meant to stay in the wound, and our culture doesn't support that. The culture really supports being in the wound or rejecting somebody that just needs healing and doesn't know how. And our culture doesn't really support like knowing how to heal. Like Indigenous cultures get together and come together. I think that's the only way you can say that. They all come together as a people, as one, and move into healing practices, into dance, or they have rituals or ceremonies to heal, often together. Not one woman loses a baby and then is on her own grieving. It's they come together and grieve as one, as a tribe. And so it's like, where have you felt rejected by spirit? Like seriously, right now you may feel like you've been denied by spirit, or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what's going on. I have to like clear my throat chakra. Fuck, whatever the word is. That you've been like left out in the cold by spirit. And it's like, where have you been rejected by other people, and how can you move through that to move into the space of your self-worth and your value? Like, how do you know your self-worth? How do you know when you feel worthy? Is it through, like, do you have to do something to feel worthy, or do you just feel worthy within your being? Do you have to look a certain way or be a certain way or say the right things? Because that's really important part of self-worth. We have Savage, she who is wild, untamed, wild, and mysterious. I love this card. And so it's asking the wild feminine to bring the wild feminine out, to bring the untamed feminine out, and let yourself be in the mystery of the feminine energies. You know, the womb is mysterious. You don't know the baby's gender until it comes out. I mean, we've done technology, but you know, the womb is this fertile void, or something's growing. And so there's always behind what's visible, the senses and the instincts, and what we're growing, what's creating behind and underneath that we might know this one piece we're working on in our business right now, but what's all that pieces underneath that? We have Abana, I don't know. Anyways, we have this fierce warrior, very much like a Mars Aries energy, and it's like she has spikes all over her shoulder. The sword is down by her side, so she's not poised to fight at this moment, but she can if she needs to. And she's solid, like her space is solid. It's like a don't fuck with me. Like she's got spikes on her shoulder, but she's in this gorgeous dress, and she's very much like, all the hair on the top of the head is like about focus. You do that in movement practice oftentimes, and it's just about focusing on the energy so there's no distractions and being like centered in you. And the white dress, the purity and the knowing thyself, like really knowing thyself and really certain about who she is. With Aries season, like we want to identify and really understand who we are, so it's a chance to go deeper into deeper depths of your identity that you haven't explored yet. It's about justice, fierce, and commitment. And, you know, this commitment to your soul mission, your commitment to your joy, your commitment to being in your heart and coming from love and being motivated by love. So it's like, if your project's not motivated by love right now and it's just motivated by fear and angst and have tos, then like how can you get back in that love space and the original vision for it? Man, I'm definitely gonna be like taking some massive vitamin C doses today. I'm not like fucking feeling great. I'm gonna pull a card from here and let you go for today. I want you to know that the Divine Feminine Sisterhood is finally here. So if you know, Activate Your Goddess Facebook group has been going on since last August, I think is when I started that, and just wanting a container for sisterhood, for all kinds of things, for us to come together, for women to feel really truly connected. I have some videos up on my Facebook and my LinkedIn and my Instagram's Peace Hotep, or yeah, Peace Hotep, and Facebook's under Jude Hotep, and Instagram's under, or LinkedIn's under Jude Hotep. And it's I have a video there that's about this Venus circle that I'm throwing in person in Naples, Florida on the 16th. So if you're near here, want to attend, please come. It's an amazing, but I talked about how being in sacred space with women, how you can just be yourself. It's not ordinary time, and you can really just get to the essence of how you're really feeling. And so that's what this Divine Feminine container is about. It is Light Goddess. It's the Temple of the Wild Feminine. I hope you come join us. We have Dolphin Spirit, which is that two disparate thoughts are true. And that's the mark of wisdom, when you can hold two disparate thoughts in mind. It's like this paradox. And that's what living this life, this soul concarnate is. It's this paradox. And it can be a mind fuck until you work that out and deal with the cognitive dissonance, and just going through the journey of it is really the only answer. I'm sending you so much love, and I you can join, I have links below so that you can join the sisterhood. There's going to be moon ceremonies and so much magic there, and it's just about connecting, and it's going to be sacred space. It's not going to be like anything you've ever joined. It's really going to be women connecting, and I'm really going to have some parameters around the container too, about if people are not wanting to stay involved, etc. So come join us. The Light Goddess podcast is 6 days a week. It is sun sign horoscopes up every Monday and episodes every day. And you come back here for the dailies, and there's so much goodness. If you want to book an astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. Sending you lots of love for today.